Hello, Bitcoiners. Thanks for coming back to Jack of All Trades for another update on Bitcoin. I know it's been a few days, but really because there's Bitcoin's not really giving a lot of direction. But the old update that I gave these arrows, it's actually kind of playing right into what I had anticipated. Just big bounce back from the bottom of 28,600, and we're just kind of moving sideways. I did read something very interesting about these manic depressive moves, these huge buy ups and sell downs, and I want to kind of explain why. Without going into too much detail, most of this price action is being caused by market makers, and they are the people that have to take the other side of your trade if no one else does. And so there's a danger associated to that. And so what they do is you buy things like options and futures to kind of hedge their position in case it moves against them. So in case they're forced to buy your asset and the price moves against them and it's at a loss, they can kind of hedge their bets with options. So what's actually been happening is that there's actually twice as much call options out there as there are puts for Bitcoin. And so what that means is, what I suspect is happening is they're trying to push the price of Bitcoin down so they can get some out of their put positions and buy some calls for cheap. And then they're probably going to let this price go, probably at the end of the week, go higher, and then so they can kind of make their money back or even close out the month as a profit. That's just my speculation, but it would explain quite a lot about why this closing price is within such a tight range, and yet during the intraday trades, it's like moving $5,000 to $7,000 at a time. I mean, if you just look at how we closed just now, 7 p.m. on the 26th, you see this giant candle buying the price back up, and we're just kind of slowly working our way back down now. And this was the daily close as a dragonfly doji, right? I mean, the price would have closed here, but it closes a dragonfly doji in the green. So I think there's a lot of signs that says this market is heavily manipulated. So if you're asking how to trade this, my answer is don't. My answer is you should have stopped trading around here. Like, this was some nice price action. Again, moving in my channel, you could have bought the bottom here. Once you get to this point, starting from Monday, it would have been suicide to trade. So don't trade this. Now, as for the question of whether or not Bitcoin is going to continue for another leg down or up, it's hard to say if it's going to go up or down, but my speculation is that it won't. And I'll show you some reasons why. Because the last few days when Bitcoin was hitting 30,000s and below, MicroStrategy, who already owns $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, bought another $10 million worth. They've literally put all of their free cash flow of their company into Bitcoin. And at the same time, Grayscale Investments bought 138 Bitcoin today, 14.5K in the last 7 days. And just the last 30 days, right, as Bitcoin was falling, they bought $40,000 worth. They have over $20 billion worth of Bitcoin. So people are actually selling into the institution's pockets. Look at this. As Bitcoin price drops, their holdings increase. Right? So there's clearly a floor for demand to catch the Bitcoin price. So I really, really, really doubt it'll go any lower than it already has. And if it does, it's not going to be like 20,000 is still off the table for me. I just don't think it's going to happen. I really think we're going to continue to trade in this $32,000 level, and then eventually break out throughout the end of the week. If you don't follow Willy Woo, I highly suggest you follow Willy Woo. But this is another thing that I think is really interesting, because I don't just trade the asset. I want to know the fundamentals behind it. If I do get caught in a trade, I want to know that this is an asset that I don't mind holding for a while. And so I want to know that fundamentally there's nothing wrong with the asset. So what we're looking at here is the HODL waves, right? So the yellow is the price of Bitcoin. And what's really interesting is you see so this is a chart of basically the oldest wallets to the youngest wallets. And the oldest, anywhere between 4 to 7 year old wallets of Bitcoin, the whales, have not moved at all. They have not been selling. Now, these ones on the bottom here, these are the very volatile guys. The 1 day, 7 day old, 30 day old, 90 day old, age old wallets. And they're the ones that are selling. So the whales are not selling. In fact, they're buying and increasing their positions. And it's only the traders that are selling on panic buys. I mean, look at these guys. These are the 90 day guys. So basically they got in at the top, and they just started selling like crazy. So fundamentally, Bitcoin is incredibly strong. And if you want to actually look at Willie, he did a great presentation on YouTube recently talking about Bitcoin whales. And he was saying that since December, the amount of Bitcoin whales, that's holders with more than 1,000 Bitcoin in their wallets, verified, have increased dramatically in the last few months. So this is not like 2017 retail. This is not retail investors messing with the price. Fundamentally, Bitcoin has never been stronger, and I'm actually super happy as an investor that it is trading sideways, because this would have been a month's worth of consolidation before it breaks out, and that is just super good for Bitcoin, because that means we got the juice to get to at least 55,000. If we broke out back early here in mid-January, I think that would have given me a strong case to say that we're heading to 20,000 for retest of support and a long consolidation throughout the winter and spring. So this price action looks fantastic to me. We are still trading within my channel, and yeah. So let's see how it goes. My assessment is throughout the end of the week, January 31st, look towards a breakout. All right, thank you, Bitcoiners, and see you again.